I do not own the rights to this music. All right, so empathy. That's what I want to talk to you about today. Empathy. Do you have empathy? Do you even know what empathy is? Empathy is the ability to recognize other people's emotions and understand their perspectives. The fundamental people skill. To develop empathy, start by simply thinking about other people's viewpoints, imagine how they may be feeling, and use active listening skills to understand them fully when they express their emotions to you. Sometimes when we are listening to other people, we get so caught up in trying to get our point across that we're not actually hearing what is being said. We're only thinking about what we can say to counteract what they're saying. But if we just take the time and just listen to what is being said, and once you hear what's being said, you can go back. Good morning, Ty. How are you? You can go back and say, this is what I heard you say. A lot of times we make up in our mind what we're hearing and not actually receiving the words that are being said. And so if you repeat back what you think you heard, That is a way to have a better way of communication. Try not to interrupt or talk about your own feelings during the conversation. Look at their body language. It can tell you a lot about their emotions. If you watch and listen to others, you'll quickly become attuned to how they feel. The perceptual positions technique can give you a particular sharp insight into what other people may be thinking and feeling. Here's some tips you can try. If you're a leader, read an article. It's called What's Empathy Got to Do with It? It gives you tips for using empathy in leadership. Empathy is something that we often take for granted because when you are one on one with someone, that's the time to become personable and to really be able to build a relationship. The best way to build a relationship is through communication. If you're not willing to listen and to understand where the other person is coming from, then that is not going to be a grounds for a good relationship. And it's not going to be good for building communication skills. And so, if you want to have better relationships, learn to have empathy. And by doing so, remove yourself out of the situation. Sometimes we often get so caught up in our emotions and our feelings that we forget that it's not about us. And so, I usually think that when someone is angry or upset or mad at you, it's because they are not in control of you. That's the only time you get mad at someone is when you can't control them or the situation. And so the best way to not worry about getting mad or angry or upset is to be in control of your emotions and your feelings. And don't always let your feelings or emotions get in the way of what's really going on. If someone is upset, it doesn't mean that they're upset with you. It means that they're going through something. So take the time and listen. Look at nonverbal things that are going on, things that they're not saying, their actions, their mannerisms, how their facial expressions look. And then look deeper into what's really going on and try to understand where that person is coming from. Most of the time that we have conflict is because we're not trying to get to understand where the other person is coming from. We might have different points of view. We might have a different way of even communicating. But if we learn to understand one another, then we realize that we're not as different as we think. We have differences, but when we learn to understand those differences, it makes it better to have communication and it has a better resolve for conflict. So as you go about your day to day, you're going to encounter a lot of things, a lot of people, and when you do, if someone is in a hurry or rushing or cuts you off, don't take it personal. Pray for that person. They might be going through something. They may be running behind and they may have forgot something at home and they need to turn around and go back and get it. So stop for a moment and put yourself in that person's position, in that person's place, and think about what it is that they might be going through. And then ask yourself, how would you want to be treated if you were in that situation? Showing empathy is selfless. It takes away from who you are and it adds into who someone else is. We all have a walk in this world. We all are on a journey. We all are going to go through something at some point or another. Just remember, when you encounter someone that is going through something, reflect on how you felt when you were going through something and what you might have wanted to receive from someone else. We're not always going to get what we seek, but if we continue to seek and we change our mindset, we will get exactly what we're looking for. Have a great day, be blessed, and remember as always, you were created with a purpose.